All right, everyone. So we're reading an article from TJR Wrestling. The headline is WWE Hall of Famer thinks relationship with Triple H will prevent return. So the wrestler in question is Rob Van Dam. So we're going to read part of an article from TJR Wrestling. It's been well known for several years that Rob Van Dam and Triple H didn't see eye to eye when they worked together in the early and mid 2000s, and that previous hostility might play a role in Van Dam remaining away from a WWE ring. During an appearance on Busted Open Radio, Van Dam said he didn't feel he was seen in a better light by WWE with Vince McMahon gone. So here's an exact quote from Van Dam. I think everyone is excited. It seems like it's a good thing for the business. Personally, I can't imagine that I'm in a better light necessarily unless somebody in the office wants to do something really different and sees value where somebody else doesn't. The veteran clarified that he had a good relationship with McMahon, but isn't sure about the other guy. To be more specific, I think I have a good relationship with Vince. The other guy, I don't know. So he was talking about Triple H when he says the other guy. Now, I will say that, hopefully this is something that gets cleared up, because the relationship being sour was something from way long ago. Rob Van Dam was at the Hall of Fame ceremony, right, for Paul Heyman. So I don't know if that means anything. It might not. And Paul Heyman is still in the business, so maybe he could put in a good word for him. But I will say just a slight message to Triple H here because look, Triple H is doing a great job. He's going to determine what goes on. He doesn't have to listen to anybody as of right now, right? Besides what's best for the business. But I will say this: one of the things, and you can go down the history of WWE that Vince McMahon always was consistent on is that if he thought somebody was good for WWE or good for the business, it didn't matter what the history was personally with them. The guy was coming back, and the best example of this is Eric Bischoff. I mean, you know, understand when we talk about Eric Bischoff and I know Vince ended up winning. And actually, Eric Bischoff talks about this in a documentary. Eric Bischoff was not somebody who said some mean things about Vince McMahon. Okay, Eric Bischoff was somebody that genuinely wanted to put Vince McMahon out of business. And when you think about Vince McMahon, early WWE, WWF going out of business, you're not talking about somebody who, well, he's a executive in a company who could go to any other company in America and go get a job. Right? This is a guy who kind of declared war on all these other territories around, the US that were wrestling territories, took them over one by one, and now was, running his own business. And if WWE failed, this wasn't like, oh, okay, it fails, I can go, get another job at another company. Vince would have been screwed in terms of the wrestling business, right? And Eric Bischoff, in one of the documentaries that WWE put out, even said, he said Vince, because Vince ends up hiring him in WWE, right? Eric Bischoff works in WWE after that. And and Eric was like, I forgot it was something Vince had said to him, like, you would have done the same for me. And Eric was like, I don't know if I would have, like that's so the point is that if Vince could hire Eric Bischoff, who was trying to put him out of business, who was, taking shots left and right at him, or have the Ultimate Warrior come back after everything that happened there, or Bret Hart come back after everything that happened there, you got to understand that when it's best for the company or best for the viewer, you just got to kind of suck it up and let it happen, right? And I hope if the fit with Rob Van Dam was good, and if the fit was, they could fit into a storyline or whatever, I would hope that, Triple H would say, listen, I'm, maybe I personally am still pissed at this guy. Personally, I don't like this guy, but it's better for the business, so we're going to do it. And we'll see if it ends up happening, and also, people may take this and run with it, and it may be a talking point down the line, like, yeah, this Triple H stinks because he doesn't like Rob Van Dam, and we don't get to see Rob Van Dam. That's not always the case, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes you just can't make somebody like Rob Van Dam fit back into the plans that they have. And also you got to remember too, we always talk about this. As much as we love these older guys, and by the way, I am the number one lover of all these older wrestlers coming back. The more older wrestlers you bring back and you use them in the show, the more it takes away from some of these younger guys who are trying to come up in the business. So you got to use them at the right times. You got to understand how to use them and use them to build up your younger guys. But if you just continually drag other guys back into the ring, you're going to take away from people who, they may be these budding stars, right? This was the big thing of the Monday Night War, was WCW was relying on their older stars, not building a ton of new ones. WWE was just building a ton of new stars after new stars, and that ended up being the difference, because at some point every star, their light is gone. And it doesn't mean that they can't get it back, but you can't rely on the same guy over and over again for years and years on end without ever having any shakeup. So thank you all for watching. Let us know what you think about this in the comment section below, and we will see you next time.